Hello, thanks for joining me for class. So for this class, we're going to use a strap. Now, of course, you don't have to use a strap if you don't want to. Or if you don't have a strap, you can also use, if you have an exercise TheraBand, or if you have a tie or a belt, or even a longer towel, just to help assisting your grip, okay? So start standing, bring your feet together. Keep your strap into your hands, but relax your arms down by your sides. If it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes or simply just soften your gaze, looking down towards your nose and your mouth. And start to notice how your weight shifts forward and back, maybe one side and the other side. And just notice your weight shifting in your feet. And then start to press the pads of your feet down beyond your floor. Start to lift the tiny muscles in the middle of your foot, your arch muscles up slightly. Stack your hips directly over your feet. Your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. So your whole body feels long and stacked and balanced. Whenever you're ready, start to flutter the eyes open. Ensure your hands are shoulder width apart. With your inhale breath, take your arms as high as feels comfortable, keeping a hold of your prop. Maybe lift the chin. With your exhale, lower your arms down. Maybe following the prop with your gaze. Inhale, bring your arms up as far as feels comfortable. Gaze lifts. And exhale, lower it down. One more breath in, bring your arms up. Pause here for your exhale. Another inhale, press down through your feet, lift up through your body, and then gently twist to one side. So keeping your feet planted, your kneecaps lifted, bring your torso and gaze and palms to face one side, spiraling through your back. And then with your exhale, come back to center. Inhale, lift up long and tall, and exhale, gentle twist to the other side. So again, planting through your feet. Notice if your hips want to swivel with. And allow your shoulders to stay away from your ears. Continue to reach tall. With your exhale, bring everything back to center. Lower the arms down. Maybe roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, lift the arms up once again. This time, take a side bend to one side. You can allow gentle pressure between the hands, palms, as if you're trying to pull your prop apart. You can keep your gaze forward or maybe looking underneath the top arm or down towards your floor. But continue to keep your kneecaps lifting. Send your hips beyond your heels. Reach down a little further. And then come all the way up. Pause here for your exhale. With your inhale, lengthen, and exhale to the opposite side. Maybe allowing the gaze to go down or up. Notice if this side feels any different than the first. Create a little bit of resistance through the hands. Press down through your feet, stabilize yourself, send your hips beyond your heels. And with your inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, lowering the arms down. If you've created tension in your neck and shoulders, certainly roll it out. Maybe take a cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through your mouth. Good, arms go back up with your inhale. This time create a little bit of an arch through your back as you lift the heart up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend into your knees and round your torso forward, lowering the arms down towards the knees. A cat-cow variation standing. Inhale, lift the chest, stretch the legs, come into a slight back bend. And then exhale, press down through your feet to curl forward, chin reaches towards the chest, arms lower. Inhale, Stretch the legs, open the front body. Exhale, bend your knees and round the back body, lowering the arms, stretched between the shoulder blades. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. When all of the air is out, leave the arms by your side and come up to standing. Maybe roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Another breath in to reach your arms up over your head. Still have onto the strap. Then start to come forward with a flat back, exhaling all the way down. Lower the strap down onto the floor, hands onto your shins. Come up for a halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, bend. Bend into your knees and separate your feet hip width. Feet are still parallel to one another. And take the strap back behind your legs, if that's comfortable for you. You can adjust your grip so that maybe your hands stay heel width apart onto your strap, or maybe you work your hands closer to one another. Let your body hang down. And just like we started class shifting our weight in our feet, you could do the same here in your forward fold. Allowing your knees to bend as much as feels comfortable. You can shift your weight side to side or forward and back, and start to just notice where center is for you. Then allow the shoulders to begin to slide up and away from your ears. With your inhale, find a flat back. Connect the ribs to the thighs, and with your exhale, start to push your belly rib cage against your thighs and lift your sitting bones up. This is our first forward fold, so take it easy. No stress through the neck, no stress unnecessarily through your mind and through your hamstrings. So anytime you need to, take a slight bend into the knees and lift the head slightly. And then exhale to lengthen the legs once again. And then mindfully, gently bend the knees and release the strap to one side. Bend the knees as much as you can to start to bring the head up halfway, forming a flat back. And then exhale, stretch the legs, relax the arms, let the shoulders hang. Bend the knees slightly once again. Take one hand in between your feet. I'm choosing my left hand so that my right hand begins to spiral high. And you can keep your knees bent if you'd like, or if you're feeling ready, you can begin to straighten the legs. Push down through your left hand, right arm high. Feel the whole rib cage spiral towards the sky as best as you can. Rolling weight forward into your toes. Reaching further as you exhale. With your next exhale, gently round forward. Maybe soften the knees if you straightened them. Come up for a halfway lift, either keeping the legs bent or straight. It's your body, you feel what's right for you. And then exhale over the legs once again. Placing the right hand down, in between your feet. A soft bend in the knees if that feels comfortable for you. And then bring the left arm high for your spiral. And again, feel free to keep your knees bent or begin to straighten them anytime you feel ready. Still warming up the body here. Connect your belly button inward. Roll your weight into your toes. Reach from wrist to wrist. With your exhale, melt over your legs. Come up for a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, bend your knees, step into your high plank. Pause in your high plank. Shoulders over wrists. Abdominals lift up away from the floor. Know that you can always lower your knees down at any time. That is an excellent variation. With your next exhale, bend your elbows lower down onto your front body. Point your toes, keep your hands connected towards your rib cage, and come up for a cobra pose. So hug your elbows in, lengthen through the back of your neck. Press the tops of your feet down into your floor, firing up your back muscles here. With your exhale, lower all the way down. Tuck your toes, push up through your hands and through your feet, and into your downward facing dog. Adjust your hands and your feet as you need to, for your big upside down V. Lift your sit bones up and back. Heels reach down towards the floor, maybe they touch. Notice the arches of your feet, the pads of your feet. How do they differ in your downward facing dog from when we started class? Look at this space between your thumbs. Step your right foot between your hands. Lower your back knee down and point your toes. Then support yourself on the way up with your hands onto your front thigh and then start to soften into your hip. Notice if your knee is over your ankle. And readjust if you need to stack your joints. Taking a big breath to lengthen your spine. With your exhale, start to soften into your hip crease. A slight hug of the inner thighs inward and upward to help engage your lower abdomen. And take your left hand down in line with your right foot. Right hand onto thigh, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gentle spiral. Draw the chin in slightly, lengthen through the back of your neck. Following your breath. And then gently bring your spine and shoulders square to your front foot, hands on either side, and start to pull your hips back, breaking into a hamstring stretch here. And pause for a moment and reach your toes down towards the floor in front of you. You may feel a stretch through the top of your foot. Start to roll your shoulders back away from your ears if they started hunching forward. Right? Continue to shine your heart forward beyond your front toes. And begin to flex your front foot now. And readjust as you need to so that you can work towards a flat spine throughout this stretch. Know that you can always send your hip all the way onto your heel and use your strap for an optional variation here. If you have blocks near you, you can also sit on those. And with your exhale, start to melt your forehead down towards your lengthened leg in front of you. So if you've taken the strap variation, you can release the strap and start to round forward, or continue holding it if you are working with the strap and feeling a benefit. A few more slow breaths. Breathe through any sticky spots. And then slowly, mindfully bring your torso up. Adjust yourself so that your hands can plant onto your floor and bend into your front knee into your low lunge once again. Tuck your back toes and extend your back leg so your heel is still up off the floor. Stabilize yourself through your feet and then support yourself on your way up. Hands onto the thigh and eventually arms float up over your head for your crescent lunge. So your back heel is up off the floor, your back leg is straight, your front knee is bent. A gentle hug through the inner thighs to support the lift of your lower abdomen. Reach your arms up high. If you're feeling strong, take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, coming into a slight back bend. If you're not feeling the back bend, no worries. Continue to lengthen through your torso and ground through your feet. If you've taken a back bend, come upright. Take the left hand down onto the floor, right arm high. So again, taking a twist, but the back leg is straight for this variation. Press down through your left hand, right arm high, so that your shoulders and wrists begin to stack. Draw the chin in slightly, length through the back of your neck to assist in easy breathing passages through your body. Then gently place your right hand back onto the floor. Press firmly through your hands, your right leg meets your left. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your kneecaps, open your heart. With your exhale, use your abdominal muscles, pull your hips back. Downward facing dog. We've done a series on one side. Notice how your body feels in your downward dog here. Turn your gaze towards your thumbs in front of you. Step your left foot in between your hands. And then lower your right knee down, point your toes. Stabilize yourself, hands on top of your leg, and come on up into your low lunge. Gently allow your hips to come forward, mindful of your knee over the ankle. And again, a slight hug and lift of the inner thighs to support your core muscles here. Scoop of the lower abdomen, broadening of the collar and the shoulders. And if you feel ready, allow your arms to float up overhead. And again, allowing a slight back bend here as you soften into your front hip crease and lengthen your back hip crease. Place your hands down. Right hand in line with the left foot. Left hand onto your left thigh. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, spiral. Spiraling towards your left side. Draw the chin in, long back of the neck. Sometimes I like to lengthen my left thigh out. As I use my hand to twist, I can also gently press it away so that I'm creating space for that hip socket, the femur bone and the hip socket, to gently open. And then gently start to unwind. Place your hands on either side of your front foot and start to pull your hips back gently. Again, pausing here so that you can reach your toes down towards your floor and invite a stretch through the top of your left foot. Adjust your hands as you need to lengthen your back as much as you can. Lift your lower abdomen up away from your front thigh. And see if you can draw your shoulder blades, the inner edges of your shoulder blades towards your back spine. Then start to flex your front foot. Adjust as you need to. Again, we're inviting a pretty good stretch to the extended leg. So you can stay upright and just work your hands where is needed. Or you can send your hips back onto a block and or your back heel and use a strap to help with that extension. And notice if the leg has a tendency to turn out or turn in. Just notice. That will affect how the back of the leg stretches. Do your best to keep it in a neutral alignment. Wherever you are, with your exhale, start to soften over the leg and allow your spine to round. If you have the strap variation and it feels best to keep a hold of that and breathe through it, by all means, do that. gently start to come up. Readjust yourself so that your hands are firm beneath you and bend into your front knee. Tuck your right toes, lengthen your leg. So your heel is up off of the floor, your back leg is straight. When you feel strong and ready, come up with your hands onto your front thigh. Gently press your front thigh away from you to create space in the hip crease and come up into your crescent lunge. If it's inviting for you to lengthen and take a slight back bend, go for it. If not, that's awesome. Just stay with your spine upright. All the benefits in the world. Back leg is long and strong. Notice the pads of your feet that are touching the floor beneath you. Drive them down and through as you continue to lengthen the crown of your head upward. Stabilize with your inner thighs, your core muscles, up through your abdomen. And if you've taken a back bend, bring your torso upright. Place your right hand down in line with the front leg. Press down through your feet, and with your exhale, spiral. Start to stack your shoulder over your wrist, shoulder on top of shoulder, wrist over wrist. Energize through your fingertips. Draw your chin in slightly. Extend through your back leg. And then gently unwind. Place your hands on either side of your front foot. Press firmly through your hands as you sneak that left leg back to meet your right with your exhale. Lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tops of the feet push down. Send your heart forward and through. With your exhale, scoop your abdomen, downward facing dog. And maybe allow the hips to sway a little bit right and left. Maybe bend your knees right and left. Take the opportunity to explore your down dog. And wherever you are with your down dog, energize both heels down towards the floor. Then lift both heels high. Swing them over to the right side. So you're in a down dog with a rotation. Heels press down, hands are firm. Engaging in a stretch along your left side body. Inhales, heels lift high to center and then over to the left. So now the stretch is along the right side body. Then come back to center. Gaze goes towards your thumbs. Inhale, lift the heels high, bend your knees, step or float forward. Come up for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your legs. Press down to rise up. Big breath in, arms up over your head. And exhale, float your arms down by your sides. Find your strap or your prop, and we'll use it for some balancing. So ground down into your feet. Stack your hips over heels, shoulders over hips. Press down through your left foot, and then lift up your right. Draw your toes up through the inner inseam of your leg. Now, having your strap in your hands, allow the knee and thigh to become parallel to the floor. Toes point straight down. You can take your strap around the front of your shin, and this is great. You can stay here for your balancing if you'd like. If you'd like to take it around the ball of your right foot, go ahead and do that. That will allow you to bring the thigh closer to your body. And then you can pause here and just work your balance here. If you'd like, you can extend your leg. Pausing wherever you are for a few more breaths. Shoulders stack on top of the hips once again. The strap allows us to have that length through our arms so that we can continue to keep our spine tall. Now, wherever you are, keep a hold of the strap in the right hand. Left hand goes to the hip. And then start to open your leg out to the side, as far as it would like to go. If you've fallen out, no worries, just get right back in it. Or simply stand in your mountain pose and breathe. Then simply bring everything back to center. Mindfully bend the knee if you've straightened it. And gently release the strap from the knee or foot. Taking the strap into your hands, relax your arms down by your sides, maybe bend into your knees, snap, crackle, pop. Give your hips a little wiggle. And then find your standing mountain pose once again. So grounding down through both feet, stacking your joints, and then press down through your right foot. Draw your left foot up toe to the knee. Then take the strap in both of your hands and adjust your left legs to your thighs parallel to the floor. Your toes point straight down to the floor. Either take the strap around the front of your left shin, or you can take the strap around the ball of your left foot and keep the knee bent and draw the thigh into the body that way. Or if you'd like, you can extend through your left leg. Supporting legs stay strong, shoulders stay stacked, right on top of your hips. A slight scoop of your lower abdomen, of course, to help stabilize you. Remembering, those are your core muscles. Your lower abdomen, your back muscles, your inner thighs, all of those groups of muscles help to stabilize you in your balancing. Now, wherever you are, begin to open your leg out to the side, right hand to the hip. Lift the supporting kneecap up. If you've fallen out, no worries, just jump right back in it. Or stand in your mountain pose and breathe. And then simply bring the leg forward, soften into your knee, and release the strap from wherever it is on your shin or your foot. Ground it down right next to your right foot. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and take a cleansing breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Taking dancer's pose. So if you're choosing to use the strap for this one, bend into your right knee and take the strap around the top portion of your foot. Hug your thighs together. Allow your left hand to go onto your left hip. Bend into your right knee, and if you have a strap, you will pull your strap rather, so that your knee is bending and your right heel goes towards your right glutes. If you're choosing not to use a strap, just grab your foot from the inside. With your next inhale, reach your arm up over your head. And then begin to kick. So as you kick, drive your shin towards the wall behind you. That will gently allow the body to come forward slightly. So the kick is what drives this shape here. Hips stay square. And then arm begins to come parallel to the floor. Maybe eventually torso parallel to the floor, with the two heels in one line from the side. But remembering that the kick drives this shape. Following your steady breath. And then to come out of the shape, start to lift the torso first, hug the inner thighs together, scoop through the lower abdomen, find stillness upright, and then lower the leg, releasing the strap. Pausing in your mountain pose for a cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. Ground down into both feet. Take the strap in the opposite hand if you choose to use it. Then bend into your left foot. And either grab from the inside or simply take the strap around the top of your foot. Taking the strap into your left hand. Hug your knees together. Lift up through your lower abdomen. Again, stacking the shoulders over your hips to start. Right hand goes onto your right hip. And maybe you just pause here. Maybe the front of your thighs is feeling particularly tight today. You just want to pause here. Great, just do that. Right? You don't have to go for depth. No stress, no worries. If you're feeling ready, allow your right arm to come up over your head. With your exhale, begin to kick. Kick is what drives this shape. So drive your shin towards the back wall. And then start to bring your right arm parallel to the floor. Extend through your fingertips. So there's energy through your toes and energy through your fingertips. Kick the front of your shin towards the wall behind you. Maybe start to bring the torso down. Maybe eventually torso parallel to the floor. Maybe eventually two heels in one line. Following your breath. To come out, start to bring the torso up first. Hug the knees together. Find a moment upright. And then lower the foot and release the strap. Maybe a shoulder roll up, back, and down. Maybe a cleansing breath. Release the strap down towards the floor. Take a big breath in. Reach your arms up. Gaze to your fingertips. As you breathe out, fold forward over your legs. Cleansing breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back, high plank. Pausing here, strong. Roll your heels to left, right arm high. Stacking the shoulders, stacking the wrists. Side plank. So know that you can also take the variation with your bottom leg down so that your shin is connected to the floor. It's always available to you. Pausing here. Maybe lift the top leg up. Maybe take your fingers to your big toe. And then gently bring your right hand down. Take an exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. A few slow breaths here in your downward facing dog. And then inhale, high plank. Spin your heels over to the right. Left arm high. Again, stack the shoulders, stack the wrists. Press away from the floor. Know that you can always take the variation with your bottom shin connected to the floor. Maybe you lift the leg. Maybe you grab onto your big toe. And then left hand meets the right in your high plank. Take your vinyasa. Moving with your breath. Meeting in downward facing dog. Lengthen through your lower back by pressing into your hands. Inhale, lift your heels high, bend your knees, step or float forward. Come up for a halfway lift. With your exhale, fold forward. Come up to standing, press down to rise up. And an exhale, arms float down by your sides. Step your feet wide. So for this one, your feet are parallel to one another and wider than your hips, wider than your shoulders. Options here. If you want to interlace your fingers behind you and press your palms together, you're more than welcome to. You can also take the strap behind you and adjust the width of your hands grip along the strap. Feet are parallel, stand tall, lift your kneecaps up, big breath in, shine your heart forward. As you exhale, start to come forward so that your rib cage starts to go between your thighs. Send your grip up over your head. So if you have the strap, allow your hands with your strap to come up over your head. If you have your hands interlaced, continue to press the palms together. Roll your weight forward into your toes. Lift the arches of your feet up. And then gently release your grip onto the floor, releasing the strap if you've taken it. Come up for a halfway lift. Press your fingertips into the floor. Lift your chest. Shine your heart to your friends. And exhale, lower. Place your left hand in between your feet. Your right hand can either go onto your hip as you spiral your torso, or if you're feeling ready, allow the top arm to lift up. Lift your kneecaps up. Notice if you want your hips to go with the movement, or if you're allowing yourself to keep your hips square. Either way is okay. Maybe experiment with both, right? How does it feel to allow the hips to move in this shape? Shoulders away from your ears, back of the neck long. And then exhale, melt forward. Let your shoulders slide away from your spine. And then the right hand goes in between your feet. And place your left hand onto your left hip and maybe begin to spiral from there. Or extend the left arm up. And again, feel free to allow the hips to swivel here if that feels inviting for you to experiment with in your body. As you do so, be aware of the sensations that you may feel in your pelvis and how your breath is flowing. And with your exhale, melt down through your center shape. Come up halfway, place your hands onto your hips. Pause for your exhale. And come all the way up. Keep your hands on your hips, turn your right toes out and bend into your right knee. You may need to heel your feet a little bit wider as you extend your arms into your warrior two shape. Work your front thigh parallel to the floor as best as you can. Ground the pads of your feet down into the floor and then hug your inner thighs inward and upward as if you're trying to pull your mat in. Gaze goes over your front fingertips. Adding a little bit of a flow here. Flip your right palm, lift up, reverse. Keep your front knee bent. With your exhale, come over to your extended side angle, looking underneath your top arm. Pause here for an inhale and an exhale. Your next inhale, keep your front knee bent, reverse your warrior. Inhale, exhale. With your inhale, come into extended side angle. Pause here for an inhale and an exhale. Next inhale, come all the way up into warrior two. Stretch your front knee. Turn your toes forward. Left toes up. Warrior two on the left side. So working left thigh parallel to the floor. Press the pads of your feet in to the floor. And then hug the inner thighs inward and upward. This is a very grounding shape and it's a very powerful shape. Gaze goes towards your left fingertips. Beginning to work our flow, flip your left fingertips, lift up, reverse. Then come into your extended side angle. Forearm onto the thigh, lift it, looking underneath the top arm. Pausing here for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, bring your torso up and back for your reverse. Pause here for an inhale and an exhale. Come up, reach out and over, extended. Pause for an inhale and an exhale. Come up last time, reverse. Inhale and exhale. Then bring the torso up, warrior two. Stretch your front knee. And then as you bend, windmill your arms, take your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. A few cleansing breaths here if that feels inviting for you. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Exhale anything that you don't want to take with you after your practice. Let it all go here. It'll all go now. Then shift your weight forward into your plank position and lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Toes touch, heels fall open, palms face up on either side of you. One ear on the floor. Notice your belly press against the floor as your low back rises and falls. Then find your strap and place it in front of you. So your hands are shoulder width apart. Hands are shoulder width apart, grabbing onto your strap. Then press the tops of your feet down into your floor and stretch your knees. Start to bring just the arms up and then lower down. And if they don't come up very high, no worries. Just lift them up and down. So you feel your back muscles work and your shoulders work, up and down, up and down. Now see if you can press into the tops of your feet and lift the bottom ribs up as well. So let out your air and then press through your feet and lift the torso up, arms high and back down. Twice more. Let out your air and up and back down. Last time, and up and down. Release. Toes touch, heels fall open, palms face up, opposite ear on the floor. Bring your chin out in front and take your left arm out in front of you. Right knee bends. So left arm out in front, right knee bends. Then grab onto your right foot with your right hand. Your pinky finger lines the bridge of your toes. Hug your knees together. Gently soften through the front of your pelvis to lengthen your right thigh. Then begin to kick with your right foot, your right shin, and press into your left hand for a half bow. So start to feel your back muscles work. See if you can get your right thigh up off the floor, your rib cage up off the floor. Kick harder, and then lower down. Release your right hand up over your head and extend through your right leg. Bend your left knee. Left hand reaches back around and grabs onto your left foot. Pinky finger lines the bridge of your toes. Again, gently soften the front of your left thigh. Press down into the floor with your right hand. Kick your left shin to the wall behind you and start to lift your chest. Your left thigh kicks up off the floor so the hamstrings work, your back muscles work, ribs lift up off the floor, kick harder, and then lower down, releasing the arms up over the head and stretch through the toes. So you're in one long line. Full bow. So bend both knees, reach back, grab your feet from the outside, pinky toe, or pinky finger rather, lines the bridge of your toes. Hug your inner thighs towards one another. Roll your shoulders back. Gently soften your belly button down towards the floor to lengthen the front of your hips. Let out your air and then begin to kick. Kick first and then your chest begins to peel up off the floor. Balance on the space between your ribs and your hips and kick hard. Kick hard so that your hamstrings work. And it's as if you're going to straighten out your legs. Maybe your chin lifts, collarbone broadens, kick harder, and then lower down. Release the feet, toes touch, heels fall open, one ear on the floor, palms face up on either side of you. Breathe into your back. Upright. Find your strap once again and bring it behind you. You can also take the variation with interlaced fingers, okay? Just like we did in our standing wide leg forward fold. So you can either interlace your fingers, palms pressed together, or take your strap. When you take your strap, take an equal distance, or an even distance rather, between the two hands, so that your hands aren't onto one side of you. So take your strap right back behind you between the two hands. Energize your legs hip width apart. Let out your air. As you inhale, lift your chest up, then lift your legs. See if you can get your thighs up off the floor, bottom ribs up off the floor. Send your grip towards your heels, lift your legs up higher. Lift your torso higher. Maybe lift your chin, lift your legs, lift your chin, lift your legs, and lower down. Good, release your strap if you've chosen to use one. Gently push yourself back into your child's pose, toes touch, knees wide. Soften your hips towards your heels and relax your forehead down. Maybe your forehead can connect into your floor, or maybe you take one fist or two fists. Breathe into your child's pose. Release the tension in and along your spine. We worked our back muscles a whole lot. So at this point, let that tension go. Acknowledge the sensations that you may feel, that your muscles did work hard, and that's awesome. Now let that tension go. And slowly, mindfully bring your torso upright. Hips to one side, legs out in front of you. Find your strap if you're choosing to use one. And take it around the pads of your feet. Bending your knees as much as you need to, and then roll your shoulders back so your spine is nice and tall. And then begin to slide your heels forward as far as you can keep a flat back. Eventually bringing the torso forward as well. So your torso is at a diagonal. Doing your best to keep your thighs and your abdomen and rib cage connected as if we were doing a standing forward fold. Take a glance at your feet and see if the pinky toes are starting to curl or if your feet are nice and flat. Maybe your big toes are starting to curl so your feet aren't even. Do your best to keep your feet even. And extend your legs as far as feels comfortable. And with a long, long spine and shoulder blades reaching inward towards your spine so that they're not separating away from the spine, encouraging a rounding through the upper back. We want to encourage an opening of the front body. This is a great exercise to strengthen the space between your shoulder blades, helping to improve posture even when we're not in our yoga class. With your exhale, go a little bit further. And then find a rounded spine. Maybe you release your grip. Maybe you let your feet soften. And just allow yourself to round into your back. Now is the time to separate the shoulders away from the spinal column. And stretch out the muscles that we were just working. Just let them soften. And then slowly, mindfully bring your torso upright. Maybe a shoulder roll. And let's reverse the shape. So press your hands into the floor, back behind you, fingertips point forward. Option here to bend your knees and press your feet down into your floor, or keep your legs straight. Either option is equally awesome. So press down through your hands and then start to lift your body upright. Allow your chin and gaze to go towards the ceiling. Belly button connects inward. Press through your hands, press through your feet. Body lifts, maybe chin lifts a little higher. And then mindfully lower down. Bend into your knees. Make sure there's room behind you. And take your strap to one side. We'll need it when we recline. Big breath in. As you breathe out, come down halfway. Grab the backs of your hamstrings, hollow out through your abdomen. Keep a hold of the hamstrings if that's most comfortable for you. Otherwise, extend the arms. Take a breath in and come down another inch. One more time, inhale. Exhale, lower down a little bit. One more time, inhale. And exhale all the way onto your back. Reach your toes and fingers in opposite directions, one long line. And then bring your knees into your body. Give yourself a nice hug. Give yourself a moment of gratitude for simply making the time and the space to connect your mind and your body through movement and breath. It's truly a gift that you've given yourself. Then take your strap, if you're choosing to use one, around the pads of your feet. Feel your whole spine flat as you extend your legs up. And maybe your legs stay bent, and that's fine. Just try to embrace the experience of a long spine, a broad collarbone, and then experiencing the extension of the heels and soles of the feet up towards the sky. Release the left foot, keep a hold of the right. Left foot can either stay flat onto your floor with the knee bent for some support, or extend your leg long. Continue to extend your right sole of your foot upward and broaden your shoulders into the floor. Breathe into the back of your right leg and just notice, does it want to turn in? Does it want to turn out? Notice which tendency your leg has. Notice which way your leg wants to go. And then maybe even experiment with it. If you turn the leg in, where do you feel that stretch? And if you turn the leg out, how does that stretch change? And you can do this with the bent knee as well. Okay. And then go to a neutral line, okay, where your shin is in perfect line with your nose, not internally or externally rotated. Take the strap into your right hand, left hand goes onto your hip, and start to open the leg out to your side. Do your best to keep that left side grounded. And then gently bring the leg up, back up to center. Now the sole of the foot starts to curl inward. So it's not flat anymore, it starts to curl in, and then bring it slightly over to the left. So now you should feel a stretch going along the outer edge of your leg increase. It gets into the outer part of your shin and the outer part of your thigh, into the IT band. This whole outer part of your leg gets quite a bit of work with less stretch than other parts of our body. And start to bring your leg back up to center and into the knee slightly if it's not already. Left leg comes up and just exchange. So the right foot comes out and either plants down onto the floor or extends long as the left leg is now into your strap. Just breathe here, right? Extending the sole of your foot up towards the sky. Do your best to keep your spine flat, even and long against the floor beneath you. Maybe bending into the knee if it's not already. And again, notice, what does this leg want to do, right? Does it want to turn in? Does it want to turn out? And then notice, if you turn it in more, where do you feel that stretch? If you turn it out a little bit, where do you feel that stretch? How does that change the sensations and the experience? And if you bring it back to parallel, how does that feel? So parallel or neutral in this stretch would be where the shin is in line with your nose and belly button, and your toes are pointing in that same direction. And the bone is stacked right in line with that left shoulder and hip socket. Then take the strap into your left hand, right hand onto your hip, and bring your leg out to the side. Do your best to keep that right side grounded. There's a nice stretch and opening here, but also paired with some core strength so we don't roll over. And start to bring the leg back up to center. Then the sole of the foot turns inward slightly, so the pinky toe starts to curl towards the big toe. And then bring the leg slightly over to the right. Just pause where you feel that stretch along the outer edge of your left side. So you'll feel it in the outer calf muscle, along the outside of your shin, along the outer thigh, in the IT band, in the tensor fasciae lata. And then gently come back to center, bend into your knee and release the strap. Allow your right and left leg to meet. And then lift up your right leg, cross it over, and allow your legs to fall over to the left. Palms face up, spinal twist. If it's too intense with your legs crossed and eagle legs for eagle twist, then simply uncross the legs and just allow the thighs to fall to one side. Your gaze can go up or in the opposite direction of your knees. Breathe into the stretch. You may feel a stretch along the outer hip, into the glutes. You may feel it in your low back, mid back, upper back, or all of the above. You can connect your belly button to your spine, bring your knees back up to center. Unravel the legs, and then left leg lifts up, crossing at the thighs, and then let your legs fall over to the right. Gaze can go either to the left or up. And notice if you feel the stretch in the same places on this side or slightly different. Neither way is good or bad. It's just the process of noticing that's key. Can your breath still be smooth? And then press your belly button to your spine to bring your legs back up to center. And simply allow the soles of your feet to touch, your knees to open in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. You can place your hands onto your thighs, or you can place them on your abdomen, maybe onto your heart space, or simply allow your palms to face up. If your eyes aren't already closed, simply allow them to close or look down towards your nose and mouth. Allowing this time to be an opportunity to reset, to release anything else that might be stirring about, ready to be released. allowing for the benefits of your hard work during your class to set in. You're welcome to stay in your Supta Baddha Konasana as long as you'd like, or extend the legs, or find any Shavasana shape that you would like for your final relaxation. Start to deepen your breathing. Send your breath to fill every cell, every tissue, every organ in your body with energizing breath. Maybe begin to wiggle your toes and rub the pads of your fingertips together. With your inhale, expand your body, maybe allowing the arms to reach up overhead. And with your exhale, melt onto one side. Cradle your head with your arms. Be sure to take your relaxation with you. And slowly begin to press into your hands. Bring your body upright to a seated position of your choice, continuing to keep the gaze soft or the eyelids closed. Placing your hands either onto your knees, your lap, possibly on your heart, or press your hands, palms together, thumbs at the chest. Acknowledge all of your hard work and for simply creating the time for yourself. That is the greatest gift that you can give yourself and in turn the world. Thank you for joining me. The light in me honors, appreciates, and acknowledges the light